Welcome back, everybody, to the second half. Fracture Orders. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it with this new oncomer that has arrived. And we'll see what the party decides to do with it.
Like how much, like, it only takes like everybody to just be like, I'm tired of this, to just give up and let them win. It's frustrating.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So there's a player 4 has entered the game. Whatever that may mean to you. Yeah, and so you see this individual put it in these black robes, slowly approaching, stopping like just short of the wall area. And as this individual raises the head, you can make out what appears to be what appears to have the same structure as a Faline. The race, a couple of tentacle things, but they're it's not on the map yet because its token has some things I don't want you to see yet. Essentially right here though. And the difference being most Faline are like a hue of green. This individual appears to be this kind of deep, kind of blood reddish color.
You said he's got like tentacles going on?
Yeah, so Faline have those like weird...
on the chin?
Yeah, like on the chin, right?
Okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah, there's that,
So I wanted to react not to the presence of the individual, but the fact that Janice showed fear.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing Janice show fear...
she probably, like, takes a step back.
Right? Seeing a reaction from Janice, I want to look over at Zul'Zan and see if they are shocked, scared... and while I'm doing that, sure. I want to calm the others and be like, I think we're gonna need you.
Okay. Why don't you roll me a perception check? It's gonna be just an average check, I think, to get a basis for what the others are looking like.
Cool. Yes! I love it!
So...
This is all my bad perception checks. They're all paying off now in this session.
So, very clearly, from them, it is confusion. And I think that your Triumph will net you here. They have no idea who this is.
Alright, so instead of calming the ship and be like, I think we're going to need you guys, I'm going to calm the ship and say, we have a GAN problem.
And as Dash hears that, understood. No, it's just like, wait, what, Dan? What's going on?
You forget your own code words?
No. No, I'm asking what's the situation. I know who he's referring to. I'm asking what's the problem.
Get in the air now. We don't. Yeah, Jax doesn't know exactly what's going on. He feels impending doom, and he's calling for support.
Yeah, and the individual lowers their hood from their head and kind of stands up straighter, and gazes around. You can tell, like, mentally taking count of how many people are here. Also, this individual appears very much alone. And the canines they have eyes for no one else now, Zian. That pressure that you felt from them staring at you is completely gone. Both of them have moved in front of Lucia, and are essentially like, you get the feeling that if she just said go, they would leap.
Yeah.
And Lucia very clearly is, she's taken a few steps back, and she's kind of instinctively grabbing her necklace.
Of course.
And you can tell, like, she's got, like, her hand ready, and she's gone from, like, the wave of terror that initially was met with surprise has gone to, you can tell she's in flight mode, because like her hand's ready to like draw her pistol if she needs to, but also her eyes keep like darting to the right at that or the south in this case.
Yeah.
That entrance, like if I need to run, that's where I'm going, kind of thing. And I think that if no one else says anything, the first one to speak is this Faline, and he says in kind of a deeper voice, he says, "You are a hard one to track down, thief. We will have what is ours. Return the item, and no one needs to get hurt." And it's very clear that he's talking directly at Lucia.
Yeah.
And Lucia kind of like, you can see her like kind of grit her teeth and her jaw muscles are clenched. And at this point, like Henkar and Jarell have kind of like backed up a few paces and they're not really sure what's going on. The Gamorrean is like kind of like his fists are clenched and he's like, I don't know who I'm supposed to punch, but I'm gonna punch something soon, right? Like because he can sense that there's a fight brewing, but he doesn't know what side he's supposed to be on yet. Kin, you are like within a few meters of this individual, and it seems to not even be addressing you.
Yeah. So Kin will step a bit forward and say, "Who are you?"
I think that kind of looks at you for a moment, like does the up and down, and it says, "My words are not for you."
These people are under our protection. What is your purpose there?
Then it is simple. The thief will return what is rightfully ours.
Kin will turn around and look. Is he pointing at Lucille?
He just like he probably looked at you once and then immediately went back to looking at Lucia, who you can tell like she's probably like undid the buckle on her blaster, and you can tell she's like getting ready to mouth a command at the nearest moment. She appears almost oblivious to everything else going on.
So Kin will just ask her straight out, Lucia, do you have something that belongs to this man?
She her eyes dart to you, and she says, "Everything I have is something that I own rightfully. How dare you influence upon me that there is some sort of that I am a thief."
I'm guessing she's not really speaking to me.
Yeah. It's like she's answering the question, but not really to you. And I think that the individual kind of like lets his head drop, almost in like exasperation. Says, "Very well. You understand what must be done. Then, you try to run, we'll stop you. Do not wish violence, but I will cause it if there is need." And I think that when he does that, he kind of pulls back his robes a little bit, and he grasps this long metal cylinder, and kind of just holds it in his hand, down at his side.
Sure.
Zian, it's much longer than yours.
What?
It's not about the size, it's how you use it.
His also works.
That would be using it.
I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna say, and this is not necessarily because I think I can convince him, but maybe because I'm trying to buy time because I'm hoping the others are on their way. I'm gonna say, stranger, will you allow us to conclude our business here, and then we can deal with whatever is going on between you and Lucia?
Yeah, and I think he just simply says, "Your business is done. The paperwork has been signed. These people are free to go." And he kind of like motions to Henkar and Jarell and the Gamorrean.
She.
We already have a table set up. They can have a meeting.
So I'm gonna roll a check here real quick. And it's not gonna be an easy one for her because he's a little bit distracted now. She might see this as her opportunity to get away. One's not on here. Willpower. Just decent willpower, but I don't think good enough. Discipline.
By the way, when you meant fly, you mean fly to you, right?
Yeah, I assume that's what he meant.
That I would like that Dash would have assumed that. Yes. Jeez.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get back to Dash when the Master of Worlds says so.
And just because I can, put that on her. And let's make a discipline.
Oh.
She racks a discipline.
Yeah. So in that moment, I love how I roll despair only on myself. By the way, in case anyone was curious, in that moment when he's distracted and speaking, Lucia just snaps her fingers, and almost within the same moments, you hear a as the telltale sign of a lightsaber igniting.
What color is it?
Well, it's purple. And it also has
interesting.
lightning coming out of it.
Oh.
What?
Okay.
This is some fucking OC shit. No, just
So, as you can
It's
see,
only
this
one color.
individual right here, both ends of the lightsaber ignite, and the Vornskar go charging in to get their prey, and Lucia's gonna do her own thing. But anyone who would like to be on initiative can be. As soon as I clear the... Oh, no, the turn order is cleared with that. So
Kin will step out of the way and look over to Jack.
yeah, totally. That's absolutely
Or
100% fine.
Sian.
I'm gonna begin rolling initiative for my people. You guys can decide whether or not you want to roll initiative.
Jax is definitely gonna pull out his guns, but he's
Okay.
not sure he wants to get involved in this.
Okay.
How much of a time do we have for a quick conversation?
Almost none.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is it's a despair. You're
Oh.
on. This is.
I'll
this
get
is
into
happening.
initiative, if only to talk.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fine as well. 100% acceptable.
And this is vigilance, I'm assuming, or is this?
Wait.
It's up to you. These two are rolling cool though, because they're very expected that this was going to be a fight no matter what. Holy shit, dude. Okay, good. And-
So I'm thinking I'm
I'm probably going with vigilance.
roll as well to get in because
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe we need to get Susan away or maybe not fight or just.
I'll roll in as well.
Okay.
Um.
And also Mouse and Dash, please roll as well,
Oh boy.
because it will determine how quickly you get into the fight.
Oh, sorry.
I apologize. Yeah, you got to roll the actual initiative thing. It doesn't use the dice pool then.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Also,
Also, I love how with all of those dice,
yeah, I know.
you got a null result.
I suppose in our case it would be a cool roll because it's.
Yeah,
So here's-
yeah, I think a
so
cool for you
here's-
guys. You guys are on your way.
Here's a question. All right, because I got the triumph.
Mhm.
If I I could use my rapid reaction to get 2 more successes. Would I then beat the guy who has 4 and 2, or would I?
No, you would be 4 and 0, so he would still beat you.
I'd be 4 and 0.
Yeah, he would be 4 and 2. You'd be 4 and 0, or 4 and 2.
Maybe you could use your triumph for something.
So what
Else.
can I use? Can I use that triumph force anything? Or is that triumph just wasted?
So
You can use it like
yeah,
there's
so
something in the scenery or something.
Yeah, you could use it to gain some sort of advantage, but unfortunately for initiative, it doesn't really apply to like get you any super bonus. But we can again, triumph is like I can break the game mechanics with this. So tell me something, and I'll see if it like if you have something creative that you want to do with it. That's totally fine.
I'm gonna use my triumph. So the deal was struck between Lucia and
Henkar like has the paperwork like clutched to her chest here.
I'm gonna use my triumph to have a quick, not chat, but like talk at Henkar, and I'm gonna say to her, "Look, you've got the paperwork. If you want to get out of here, there's an escape along that over that wall." And I'll point out, remember, I rolled the advantage, so we have that. Like, there's a lower roof off to the side where we could jump off and then jump off to get out. But if Lucia doesn't make it out of this, then I don't know. Like, then she might not.
Doesn't matter anymore.
She won't honor your. There's nothing honoring this agreement you struck today. So I'm gonna use that with my triumph, and I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take one strain and use one rapid reaction to upgrade mine to a 3 and 0. So we should have 2 that are 3 and 0.
Okay. No problem. Okay. Anything else? Did everybody roll? Everybody's good. Initiative order looks good. I'm not going to put Henkar and them on it because they're neutrals in this particular bout of combat. So, as the Vornscar like go bounding up, this individual is going to do something. He has an ability called Hawk Bat Swoop. So, I make okay, yeah. So, I'm going to use Lightsaber Agility. And then I'm also going to add Force Dice to them. Now he gets quite a few Force Dice. So we'll go ahead and add the Force Dice there. And the check is oh, it's just a combat check. Okay, cool. So this would be a average check because it is melee. And we'll see how successful he is. Okay, good.
He's pretty fucking successful.
So,
holy shit!
Kin, you step back and maybe you drop your arms into some combative stance, and he almost blinks past you. He leaps, and it's very clearly a force leap. As he jumps right in on the Vornscar, the blade spinning through the air as he does. And he brings his wrath down upon this individual. It's actually supposed to be the damage as well. Melee combat check. Oh yeah, I was supposed to do that for damage. So let's see. Engage a target immediately as an incidental. Yep. Advantage on the check. Cannot move to engage a target. Okay, cool. So to add 3 more advantage to that, which I will roll the weapon just to roll it, so we'll see it. The roll doesn't matter in that case. So he does. Oh, the critical is not 0 though. 0. So he's got four advantage to spend. So he's going to spend 2 of it on
Why
linked.
4?
because he gets to add the force pips to his advantage as well.
Oh, cool.
With this ability.
Jeez.
So he's going to linked, which means it's going to do 8 plus twice the successes that are up, which are 2, so 8 plus 16, so 20 damage. He also ignores 10 points of soak because it has breach, right? And so he immediately lops off the head of the Warnscar.
Yeah.
In one blow. In a single blow. So, as that happens, a PC gets to go.
Could I potentially, is everyone fine with me going, just rushing and trying to make a, I guess, planetary check to...
Yeah, basically you're going to be making some piloting planetary to get here.
It's still space. It refers to the type of vehicle.
Correct, yes. I apologize.
But just tactically speaking, I'm guessing you won't get here in one turn.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it would be better if you went on the end of the round. I'm not sure. You might. I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. If I fly good enough, maybe I'll... No. But
if you get a couple triumphs, it's conceivable.
Yeah.
We could try that.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Sure. So let's create a dice pool for you. Let's take away those 3 force dice that he gets. So you're weaving in and out of out of the busy spaceports through some. You're probably avoiding natural traffic lanes. So it's going to be a hard check here, just for the type of piloting. And I'm adding a black dice because just you're not using regular lanes. There's a lot of environmental issues here. They're probably sending clearance codes to the dock actively, and they're like, "What are you doing? What you're going crazy." So there's a distraction there as well.
Wait, what are we talking about? Planetary or space?
Space. I'm sorry, piloting space.
Okay.
So it's a hard check with a black dice on it. You can get rid of black dice, right?
Dice?
Absolutely, you can.
Can I add a bonus dice by saying that I'm...
Well, I will do one thing and re-roll.
Okay, you want to re-roll it?
You succeeded. Oh,
what? Shit, it is a success.
Yes, it's a success. Mouse, yes, if you had taken the turn before him. Does it make sense? Yeah, it was if you had taken the turn before him and then did some roll to then pass something to him, yes. But you could take the turn, you could take the last turn in the order and then pass it to him, right? For the next roll. So the success is you don't crash. You are naturally on your way. And I go ahead and write down, or I'll go ahead and I'll keep track of it. There's a certain number of successes I'm looking for. Once you reach that, you will have reached the point and the location you need to.
I see.
Cool. But you're not going super fast yet, right? You had to take up out of the spaceport, you had to send the docking codes, you had to ramp up the engines. Mouse is probably screaming through the comm what the hell are you doing? There's RK is probably in the cockpit have been knocked over by your sudden movement, and all kinds of craziness is going on because you basically just punched it right immediately out of the gates. So that's your action, right? To fly, or your maneuver to fly, right? So you can still take an action here technically, and if we're dealing in game terms, some things you can do with that are
speed up.
Yeah, essentially you could increase your speed, right?
I
to
will
get up
do
to
that
speed
with my 1 rank in full throttle.
Yeah, absolutely, because I want to make sure you use
that.
your stuff. Cool. And that allows you to basically go to maximum speed, right?
Take a full throttle action, make a hard pilot check, and increase. Oh, technically I did that, so I succeeded.
Yeah, correct.
Woo!
That's totally acceptable for that, I think.
Buy 1 for a number of round of cunning, so that means that I have that available for how much? Oh, for 2 rounds. I can speed up for 2 rounds for the number of cunning.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, we're good. Next person, I guess.
Yeah, so he wants to take the next PC turn.
I kind of feel like in this situation, Jax, who usually is like, must go first, must do big number, would look to Xian because obviously this is going to be his expertise. But at the same time, Jax knows Xian hasn't been all together with it today.
True.
Fuck it. I'll go.
Okay.
So, how much of a conversation, or if I ask Xian a question,
there's no like
respond?
time limit here. Imagine, like, I said he cut off the Vornskar's head with one stroke, but like there's probably you probably can ask a couple questions and receive a couple answers. Time is very narrative in the Star Wars universe. I mean, think about how much they talked in the movies, right? Like, they're literally getting shot at by stormtroopers and they're having full-on conversations, and it doesn't matter. So go do whatever you want, man.
Got married on a ship during a battle.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm going to look to Xian. I'm going to say, what should we do?
This guy definitely out of our league. Depends on who we want to protect. Best case scenario is probably convincing Janice to get rid of the necklace. Saves the most amount of lives.
Yeah. And definitely, Xian, just so you know, because we've kind of played this kind of fluidly, you probably felt him exert 5 force pips, right?
Yeah.
Like you could feel the strength and know that it's just like, Jesus, right? Like, as that came out, that's probably palpable to you.
Yeah.
So, what, as is Hankar and what's his face still sitting at the bench, or are they?
So they have probably like gotten off the bench with that, and are probably like running in this direction here, like up towards this way.
All right, so I'm gonna move to intercede myself in between the ruckus and them.
Sure.
And I'm going to I'm not gonna take a combat maneuver.
Sure.
But I'm gonna shout to Janice, give him what he wants.
Yeah. Do you want to make some sort of check as your action?
Sure.
Okay, because it's not gonna be easy. I'm just throwing it out there.
I know. I guess
you could just narratively say it and take some other action if you wanted to.
I think narratively I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna start looking for. Can I use my action to survey the backup roof to try and see if I think the close call could land there or get it there so we can get onto the ramp? Can I use my action to try and find a space that we can access where the close call could pick us up, maybe by like hovering, and we could jump onto the ramp or something?
Yeah, I mean, probably over in this corner, there's a space.
Okay.
You can see the map there. There's a bit of a space here. If all the action is obviously happening on the landing pad area. The close call could probably pick you up from here.
And sorry, because the lift, where's the lift?
It's right, the elevator's right here.
Alright, cool. And the stairwell is there as well.
Yep.
Alright.
Yep, they're both right next to each other.
So, I'm gonna, Jax is straight up zero interest in fighting the fucking Windu wannabe. So, but again, like, came here for a reason to help mediate. Like, Zul'Zan are technically under their protection. He takes that seriously. So he's just gonna kind of follow them and cover them as they try and make their exit. Maybe shepherd them towards I'm trying to decide if he would shepherd them towards where the close call could pick them up, or just tell them to like get to the stairs and do their own thing. But yeah, I think I think I'll turn to them and say, like, if you get to the other corner, like, we can get you out of here in our ship.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of follow them. I'm gonna kind of motion both Xian and Kin to kind of come with me. I don't think we want any part to do with this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So it's the first NPC turn. NPC turns here are going to be Lucia. And Lucia's going to take it. She's going to use a maneuver to, just kind of get probably there-ish. She's going to take the 2 strain to use another maneuver to pull out her weapon, and then she's going to fire it. And this is where the fun begins. So, first of all, he has some ranks in adversary. So he's a legitimate badass.
Yeah.
So 2 ranks in adversary, great. But he also has something else if it does indeed. So 2 upgrades. It's gonna be short range shot though. That hard for her. Or it's gonna be an easy check essentially. And she's going to take that shot. Okay, good.
Ooh.
So yeah, she's no slouch at shooting, right? Like she grew up on the streets of Corellia, her whole life. We probably see the little montage of her growing up, learning how to fire a blaster pistol, right? And yeah, she nails it. However, he gets to do some things here. Oh no, he doesn't. Darn, it was only 2 threat. Shame. So it hits for 5 for 9 damage. And he is going to deflect the bolt with his lightsaber. So as it kind of the blaster bolt bounces off and kind of falls harmlessly into the ground. It probably like it does penetrate though. Oh wait, no it doesn't. I'm sorry. It doesn't penetrate at all. I apologize. So yeah, he just completely deflects it, the blaster bolt, and turns his attention towards the other Vornscar, seemingly unfazed by that shot. Unfortunately for Lucia. And again, you can feel that kind of terror emanating from her at this point. Bringing us to the very next turn, which is a PC turn.
I'm gonna take this one.
Sure.
2 things. One, narratively, want to ask this guy who he is. Like, who are you? 2.
Yeah.
Would you consider her necklace to be an object in an opponent's grasp of some sort?
Yes, I would.
I would like to try and force yank the necklace off of her.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, she's actively grasping it, as she's like running back with having her blaster pistol out.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can absolutely do that. And the cool thing about move is there's really like no defense against it unless you just don't want to do it.
Unless there are certain Jedi abilities that can protect against other Force.
Yeah, like very few though. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just a straight up move.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me clear just in case it pulls with some
Okay.
ice on it. There you go. You're good. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh man.
I will forewarn you before you use this. You are in the presence of some things that might be able to make this worse than just using a black dice. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Xian is probably angry.
Xian. Okay. Xian's gonna use it. His composure is completely fucked up. He's emotionally fucked up right now. and I think this is going to cause him a hefty amount of conflict.
Yeah.
He's doing it in fear, anger. He's using the dark side.
Yeah.
And he's pretty sure he's on a path that's really dangerous, but I have to do it anyway.
Yeah. And I also want a discipline check because of some weird stuff because of what you're directly interacting with that you have suspicions of. I do want a discipline check. It's going to be a hard check too.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Go. No.
So add, since it's one failure, add another conflict, please.
Okay. Thinking like 5. Is 5 good, or you want more on that?
5 seems. I would say 5 total, including that failure you just made.
Right. That's what I meant.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because you like maybe you even like let out like some sort of angry or some sort of like visible or audible intonation to this, like kind of letting everybody else know you're like like we were so close, right? And you just like you rip it out, and I think we see the slow motion shot of the necklace kind of like comes off, and like for a moment it gets tugged back by the thin like kind of delicate chain it's on, and then it kind of breaks, and Lucia's head kind of like rocks forward, and then like as it's floating through the air she like reaches out and like tries to grasp for it, but it fumbles out of her fingers. Do you like pull it to yourself?
I don't know how I tend to look at this power specifically as I'm pulling something in the direction that I am.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see it. I don't know if maybe if I was more powerful, maybe I could do something else. Kind of how I look at the move power right now.
There's room for growth in your move power too, right? You don't have any ranks in power or anything like that yet.
So I think with that discipline, I don't know. With a failure on discipline, I think my intention was to just grab it so I could give it to him, but I think in this case it's gonna come to me and I'm gonna hold it.
Okay, yeah. So you just like it falls into your hands, and immediately, probably part of the failure here, is you hear those whispers as you're holding onto it, and you're like gazing into it, and you can see it now that it's closer. Every time you've looked at it, it appears red on Lucia's neck. But now that you have it in your hand and it's in such close proximity to you, you can see that it appears to be... It appears like it might be filled with some sort of cloudy substance. And you can tell there's very subtle movement and changes. It's still that like deep red color, but there's like a little bit of gray and a little bit of black lined in there, and then a little bit of lighter color when it hits the light just right. And it appears to be almost constantly swirling inside of there, that you would only be able to detect here. And I think Lucia screams with like a rage, and you can tell even fighting the Vornskar, this double-bladed lightsaber individual, he watches its trajectory and his eyes fall onto you next. Because he's not sure what you're gonna do with it, just like you're not sure what you're gonna do with it at this point. Right. So he's taken note of that. Cool. Are you gonna move? Because that was an action, so you still have like a move if you want to.
Like I do that, I grab it, and then just everything kind of stops as like my focus is just staring down at this thing in my hand.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So another PC turn, leaving us with Kin or a mouse.
All right, I'll take it if that's okay. Kin was previously just stepping aside. Now when he sees what Diane does, he will probably really just try to run over to Diane, placing himself here, and really
totally fine.
Step into more of a combat stance. Or just not moving aggressively, just being ready.
Yeah, I think that as you like run by this, the whirling blades of the lightsaber, there's a moment where you can tell the individual kind of like looks back and like watches you, and you get the sense that if you had come up and did anything but run by him, it might have, ended badly. He's aware of everything around him, almost in an innate way, a way that isn't possible via normal mortals. Cool. Do you have like an action you want to take, or do you want to like do some sort of check? So maybe you could pass some dice to Mouse next turn, or what are you thinking?
No, I really just want to stand by Sian and just ask him.
Cool.
Let me know what you want me to do.
Cool. So I think that we get to NPC turn, and the Vornscar is going to be enraged by the loss of its brother so abruptly, is going to attack. Now the cool thing about Vornscars is they hunt people that use the Force. They get free boost dice to all their checks against them. Tracking, attack, damage, everything like that. So that is super cool. And they have their tail attack, and they have their bite attack, and they generally use their tails first, because you'll see why. So let me set up the dice pool here. It's going to be melee versus melee, so it's just average. They get a boost dice because they're Vornskers. And we'll see if he's able to make it through. Probably not, but we'll see. Cool. So, does 6 damage. Unfortunately, that is not enough. Easily deflected away, and probably just narratively, not like using any sort of mechanic or whatever. This lightsaber wielding individual probably doesn't even like slice him off with his lightsaber or anything like that. Probably just like deftly sidesteps with almost like unnatural grace, right? As the tail like lashes down, and easily deflects the blow, or dodges it in this case, having 6 damage not being enough to make it quite through the defenses of this individual. Leaving us at Mouse. So Mouse, you were in engineering. All of a sudden, the ship takes off, and you hear the whirring of the engines because you're so close. And you know that Dash is hard on ships, but they're like straining and creaking because he slapped the throttle full bore, and is now just careening towards wherever we need to careen to. I assume, Jax, when you made that call, though, you were on open comms, but also, I'm not sure if Mouse cared enough to learn the code words, so it might be appropriate that you have no idea what they meant when they said that.
I do know that we're moving, and we're also on Corellia, which is a heavy traffic area.
Yeah, totally.
And that going full bore speed is probably not the best idea.
Nope, definitely not.
So, I think, mechanically, I'm going to fix the problem of Dash driving dangerously, piloting dangerously.
Are you gonna
by
limit
reducing
the
some of the, I'm gonna limit the engines, but I'm also going to prime like thrusters and stuff like that, so that if Dash does need to make any like fancy maneuvers, that he has like a better opportunity to do so. Amazing. So he'll have a lower top speed, but he'll have a like higher.
Yeah. You're gonna reroute power basically, right?
Yeah.
Great. You're my top speed. Great.
I'm lowering his top speed, but I'm raising his acceleration and maneuverability.
This dynamic is amazing, by the way. Just in case anyone was curious, it's like one of my favorite things ever. Okay, so. It's obviously mechanics is what you're going for here, like manually rerouting power. I'm gonna make it hard,
my ship.
Just because it's
my ship.
A hard thing to do, right?
It's like ship.
It's my engine.
Exactly.
It's my skill.
I'm also gonna add a black dice because you are currently like actively in transit. This would be something that would be way easier to do, like, hey, we know we're going to this situation, can you set this up for us? But no, this is like actively in transit, you have to do this on the fly. So I'm adding a black dice, which I think you can remove, right?
Yeah, I can remove 1 black dice.
Cool. So
Wait,
it's just a hard check for you.
Did I get the other? Did I get the ability to remove 2 yet? Let me see. Give me a second. Combat. Gearhead. No, I'm still at 1. Rank 1. Okay.
Cool. Whenever you are ready.
Okay, I am ready. I'm just finding mechanics. It's hard.
Ooh. Okay. All right. So I think that
all the threat.
Yeah, I think 3 threat in this situation. I think that would be a good thing. Because 3 threat is usually equivalent to something really dire. Maybe not quite despair level, but pretty darn close. So I think that what happens is you reroute the power, and you definitely move it. You move some power out of the top speed and into the maneuverability, but there's some loss there. So I think that, like, if you take 2 off the top speed, the maneuverability is only going to be like 1 boost dice better. Yeah. Instead of like a direct 1-for-1 transfer, that like a on the fly normal or like a normal procedure power.
I cause a decompression in the engine.
Yeah. There's some drag on the ship now, and there's some stuff
Dash
going on.
definitely feels it.
Yeah, Dash. I think you hear the woo. It's like the engine's kind of power down just a little bit, as that is all occurring. So. So yeah, I think that you'll get a boost dice on like maneuvering checks, Dash. But I'm gonna increase the number of successes you need to get there because you can't go as fast anymore. Basically.
Can I get the next one because I'm trying to get there?
Yeah. But first,
what?
This guy's turn.
Oh wait, was PC, but
no, we were on PC. Yeah. Correct.
That appears for me to be a PC, not an NPC. That's weird.
Well, yeah, no, it appears as his token because I manually put him on there because there's 3 parties fighting, so just having it listed as NPC is confusing.
I see.
So he is going to simply take. I think he's just going to try and end this Vornskar. He's pretty done with being harassed by this thing. And it's really just an easy check, and there's no force dice associated because he's not using the special ability. So it's just gonna be and I need to change this back to wait, no, sorry, he uses agility all the time. What am I saying? Yeah, and he's just gonna attack this thing and probably end its life. Oh, actually, or not. So since he doesn't have the upper hand, like that surprise advantage anymore, he deals the 9 damage, but he's gonna take some strain from that, because he can take strain. That is, and he hits the Vornskar for a significant amount of damage. Doesn't quite bring it down though. Vornskars actually have a decent amount of health.
So he hits it for
9.
9 damage?
Yep.
9?
9. Because he didn't get the linked or anything else on there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, linked has to be activated.
Okay,
does Breach have to be activated? I thought that was just an all.
No, Breach does not. So that ignores the soak. But the Vornskar actually has more health than 9, so.
Oh, I thought Breach did something completely different. Man.
No. Breach just ignores soak, basically.
But it basically ignores up to 10 soak, because that's vehicle soak, right?
So it's kind of like Pierce, but it's mainly for like starship stuff.
Yeah, so it also works against like blast doors and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the difference.
Yeah.
Between Breach and soak, or Breach and Pierce.
And don't get hit by him.
Oh.
So I think that with this he does end up he also has Sunder, right? And Sunder damages whatever he hits. So I think that he actually just takes off the tails. Like when he does that little spin around the creature, as the tails are down, he just slices them right off.
Sunder, I think, needs to be activated.
You are correct. It needs 1. I thought. Okay, yeah.
Just in case I'm fighting him, right?
Just in case you're fighting him, yes, it's important. For this, it's not as important though.
No.